Hey folks, I thought I would do a video here. I've probably been vaping now for about 8, 9 months. And I got into it because, like most people, I wanted to quit smoking, but I had a little added benefit, or reason, I should say, is I wanted to be able to go through airports because I travel for a living, and I didn't want to have to exit security and have to come back in through security to have a smoke. And since most airports shut down smoking lounges, I thought, well, heck, this vaporizing seems like it might be a good alternative for that. Now, of course, for me, that turned into completely quitting analog cigarettes, and now I vaporize primarily while I do 100%, and I do no nic juice. So it really worked for me. It may work for you, and that'd be great. But, like probably most people that walk into their first vaporizing shop, they're really kind of intimidated. There's a lot of different things going on, juices and different kinds of vaporizers. There's a whole different language. You've got mods and ohms and all sorts of different things that are going on. Variable voltage and what do you want? What should you get? So I thought I'd make a video from somebody who's relatively new and kind of give you an idea of where I began. Now I may be different from people, most people, but I'm guessing that I'm probably not. That I got into it, I got my first couple of things, and then I rapidly progressed and spent quite a bit of money doing it. So I figure before you go out and spend a lot of money trying to dink around and figure out what you want, I'd show you a few of the things that the progression that I took and give you an idea of where you might want to begin and where you could go and where you should stop. Because I kind of went beyond where I think I needed to, and I'll give you an idea where that was. So to give you an idea, I went into a local shop here in Phoenix, Arizona, and the first mod that I bought that was recommended to me because I travel was this little guy here, which is called the Itaste MVP. And for those that know this mod, this is kind of an older one. It's got a little digital readout here, and you can adjust the voltage. So you can see there 980 is the hit count, 4.8 is the amount of watts being put out of this guy, or the amount of volts being put out of this guy. And that can be adjusted up or down. So you can choose how many volts you want to put out. And what that means is how much power is being put to the coil when you put on a tank up here with a coil on it. So when I first got this guy, of course I was sold the iClear 16, which is this guy here. What you can see inside there, that holds the juice. And what you've got is if you look in the middle there, you've got that little pole. And there's two wicks that hang off this pole. And you can see one of them right here. And that goes down and it creates, basically what happens is the wicks come up, and inside of this little coil, there's one on either side, there's a small electrical wire that goes around each one of those. One goes to positive, one goes to negative. When you hit the button on this guy, what happens is that little coil heats up to a certain level and it vaporizes this juice, which sucks up on the wicks to each one of those coils. So to give you an idea here, I'll screw this guy onto the top and I'll show you what I mean by that. So that gives you an idea of what happens here when you push the button. And again, that's just that little coil in there blowing that out. So again, this was my very first what they call mod. And a mod, to put it in just real layman's terms, a mod is usually a battery device. Here's one style. Here's another digital style here. I've got this is what's called a mechanical mod here, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then you've got like the Ego Twist mods, which this is an Ego style mod, a much smaller pen style, which I see a lot of this out and about. But this was my first one, and the reason I got this was because it was a very large battery capacity and it lasted me a long time. As you can see, it charges from a little USB port down here, micro USB. Plug that in, it charges up, and you'll see it has a large USB, and this was kind of cool actually because you can flip the little switch here And if your iPhone's dying or your Droid or something, you can plug it in and you can actually charge your phone off this, which in a pinch I've actually done before. So this little Itaste MVP worked really well. The newer models have some more features. You can do voltage, or you can do watts. There's a couple of different things you can do on it. It works pretty well, but it is big. It's a good size. I'm trying to find something here that I'll give an idea. So here's like an average coaster, so you can see it's a pretty big, big size deal here. So that would be the first mod I got here, the first battery pack. The second one I moved to, because I do travel, I decided to get this little Ego Twist. And what this guy does, as you can see on the bottom here, and I don't know, that's pretty small there, but you can see it's got this little metal thing and it actually turns. And what this does is it changes the voltage, much like I was showing you on here with this voltage changer. It does very much the same thing, but it's a lot more compact. And when you're charging this guy, you need a special charging unit that looks like this. And basically what you end up doing is screwing that into here and plugging it into either like a iPhone charger or something like that, or you can plug it into a computer and you can charge this guy up. So the button's right here. You can see it shines there. And again, we can screw on what's called an Ego tank, which is this kind of connector here. So you can see this kind of large connector which goes onto these side screws, or you can put on what's called a 510 tank, and let me show you what that looks like. So this is a 510 connector, and that goes inside on this part here. So you can see we can put this particular tank on, and we can get a good amount of vapor from that as well. So this particular tank is called an iClear 30. So this is the smaller version. This is a much larger version. This is by Inokin, and it's got a little adjustable tip thing here, which is kind of cool. I thought that was kind of a neat little deal when I got it, and I still use these quite a bit. This one has the same kind of coiling system, so it's got a wick up top, so you see it sucks in here, except this one has 4 wicks that come around it, and it pulls into a central coil right about here. So these are called top wick. So you'll see on both of these style, you'll see that the wicks are up top, here and here. So when the juice drains down, about when it gets about here, or maybe around this area here, it gets a little tricky, and it kind of sucks. You kind of have to roll it around to get the juice to flow the way you want it to. So you end up filling them quite a bit. And I'll talk about another couple styles of tank here in a minute, and you can see the difference. So these are the electronic, this and this are the electronic style. Now these were the first 2 I got, and then I decided that I was going to move into what are called mechanical mods.